Welcome to a very sunny Frizzington. Behind us, in an elevated position, is this fantastic former farmhouse. It's been used over the last few years for poultry farming and comes with a selection of outbuildings and quite a significant farmhouse with a huge amount of bedrooms and a lot of potential. The property is in need of renovation. There are also additional adjoining barns which could make this already substantial farmhouse into something absolutely enormous should you need the accommodation. But the beauty of this is its positioning. Now, it's not very often that I add a photograph in, but there's no way in the world I can explain this to you without it. So, brace yourself. This is the front shot and the rear view from behind this amazing farmhouse. You won't believe it. So, what did you think of that? Very unexpected. As you can see, we've got a slightly tired farmhouse behind us. I mean, you can clearly see there's some size, but that backdrop over the Ennerdale Valley is something absolutely breathtaking. You're going to see a bit of that over the next little while, because this also comes with around about 40 acres of land. It's I've walked around this plot and it took me quite a long time to be able to get around it. And we're going to show you some snapshots of that as we go round. But it's almost 40 acres. Positioned on top of a hill with loads of outbuildings, a substantial farmhouse with the most breathtaking Lake District National Park backdrop. And this is for £600,000 as a guide price. So value for money, as well as all of the other elements that you could expect. Now, my view with this, and having spent quite a lot of time here, the views are spectacular. The ground that this property sits on, screaming out for yurts or pods or tent facilities, maybe even on some of the flatter ground, a CL caravan park. The barns could easily be developed and looked at from a hospitality perspective. We are not far away from the west coast of Cumbria. The village of Frizzington has plenty of amenity. This is very easy to get to, but this is a standalone on a hill entity which could give you a unbelievable leisure and hospitality structure and setup for the future. However, if all you want is an incredible house with potential and a large amount of land, whether it be for grazing or for ponies or for anything else, well, there's a lot to look at, and I'm going to stop rabbiting on and I'm going to show you it. I hope that you were as mesmerized by this as I was when I came to view. So we're at the ground level now. I've got a bit of walking to do. I'm not as fit as I was, so there's going to be a bit of huffing and puffing on the way round. But there's so much to see, and I can't not show you all of it. Now, there are some really easy breakups on this. I mean, this house looks like it should be one house, and it feels like that when you're inside. This feels like it should be one house, even though they're interconnected. This over here is a barn ready for conversion. This over here is another barn that's potential for conversion. And I did promise I wasn't going to get this gentleman in the video, but it's too late. He's there. He is for sale with the house. So what we've got is a large agricultural building, steel portal frame building. So that's going to be quite a useful space. I'll just give you a bit of an eye opener as to how big it is inside. And I think by the look of things, there's a little mezzanine area up there, which is equally very good. So nice, easy, decent structure. As we walk through the site a little further, it opens up a bit more on how much other areas there are to potentially develop if you wanted to. We've got a brick-built small barn, but that could easily be interlinked with this one here, which is significantly bigger. And then that follows on to a breeze block barn the other side. This old steel frame building is being removed, so that will give you a nice blank canvas area to get started with. So I'm going to try and race through this without breathing too heavily down this. This is the back of the property. This is unconverted, and I'll just give you a glimpse as to what that looks like inside and how much space you've got to play with. Plenty of pigeons, but look at the height of it. It's absolutely vast. Plenty of space, plenty of things that you can do with it, whether it be parking or get consent for a holiday let or something else like that. And then we've got a lovely area over here, and the lawns are really nice. You've got also this absolutely enormous greenhouse. I think it just needs recovering, but it's a great space. Now this is the part that I've been getting very, very excited about, because we got in the late 30s to acres of land, and the backdrop every day that you get to enjoy is this. Wow, how cool is that? Right, let's get marching. So we're going to walk through as much of the fields as we can. It's quite a walk, so I think what I'll do is cut off this section of video and come back to it in a minute when we get to our next stage. Okay, so we were just over there a minute ago, and these are the things that I like to make mention of. You own all the land around here. There's a quarry at the bottom down there. There's a river all the way along the bottom here. But we do have the recycling plant, which is just over here, which is no particular impact at all to the house and the enjoyment of it. The road leading down to it's actually going to be quite useful if you did want to create something hospitality orientated overlooking that backdrop. I mean, I don't know if you can see as much as me, but the further we walk down this road, the mountains seem to double in size within the last 2 minutes, which is amazing. So I'm going to switch off for a second, and when we get to about there, I'll restart again. Okay, well, we're a little way away from the house now. We were just up there a minute ago. I'm doing this in segments, or otherwise honestly this video will be about 2 hours long. When I came for my first appointment, we were for quite some time, but it's worth seeing a lot of this, because otherwise you won't get a proper indication of how everything sits. I mean, you can hear behind us, it's as noisy as it gets. There's a truck unloading something in there, but nothing bad. The ground is nice and dry. I dare say in winter this is going to hold a little bit of water at this top section, but it slopes away nicely afterwards, so it should be fairly decent quality as we get to other parts. So just to note, all the way across here is actually really quite nice. The land that's nearest to the house is decent quality grazing. I mean, it's being grazed off at the moment, but it's decent quality grazing. So I think it's perfectly good if you want to look at that leisure opportunity and maybe do some pods or yurts or something like that. Maybe a CL caravan site, which is a consideration as well. But equally, if you wanted to have some ponies, wanted to use it for a small holding, then there's some nice, easy manageable land covering there. Now I'm going to take you to the top of this little mound over here, because I stood on that the other day, and the view backwards was absolutely mesmerising. I mean, we sell houses in the middle of the national park for between £1 and £3 million, and they are beautiful and absolutely breathtaking. This is £600,000 with almost 40 acres of land, an enormous development opportunity, and the nearer you get, the more impressive it is. And these views. Cool. Now, this also owns all the land along here, and there is a quarry over here. So I'm going to pause the video for a second, wander down a little bit further, and show you a bit more. So the little hill was just up there. This is the first time I've broken one up into segments, so I hope this actually works really well for you all. Mountains are here, but you can see there's quite a steep gradient that takes us down. Now, there's a lovely beck at the bottom of the river. This is an old railway line that goes through here, so it's quite a popular cycling and walking route. So I would imagine if you were to be able to look at tents, bring your own, a bit of a hard standing at the top, there is full consent for a agricultural steel portal frame building up the top there, up the top there near that the recycling centre. So that actually would lend really well for, again, for equestrian, small holding, or if you were looking at something from a leisure perspective, obviously subject to an extra planning consent, reusing that building for something that could house, I don't know, things that you'd need for this, or a little site office or something else. I don't know. It's got to be a possibility. But our next step is going to be along here. It's a little bit steep, so I'm going to come off of this for a moment and I will start back up again in a second. So we just come down this quite steep bank and it leads through to this. Now the vendor has let me know there's no public footpaths through this, and this is idyllic. I mean, it's a little bit of a distance down to here, but I believe that the beck is owned by this vendor as well. But if you look here, now think about this and put some imagination into it. If we've got this quite nice bank, which is all the way through here, and a riverside there. This is a camping facility, or with the right consent, maybe having some eco pods or a couple of yurts down in this clearing down here would be amazing. I mean, I would definitely come on holiday here. The other thing to consider, and for those of you that watch our videos, you'll know I've got a couple of girls and they're 8 and 10 years old, and they are amazing. They would play in here and I probably wouldn't see them for half a day at a time, because this is away from everyone. There's no access through here. We are within your own grounds, within a 5-minute walk of your own house, which is fenced in. It's nobody else's. And we've got this wonderful private secret garden. My kids would be looking for fairies and all sorts in there all day. And this keeps going and going and going. I think there's a section where the steam trains would have been through before. Please don't quote me on that, but I do feel that was something that was discussed before, which would have been maybe through this section here, which it does look as if that's a chance, but we've got a little stream or a beck that runs across here that goes down to the main part, and then I could keep going on this for hours. So this follows. And we've got the last thing, which I'm going to take you to look at now, is a quarry that is owned by this property. So I'm going to turn this off for a minute, actually give you just 2 more seconds on this. I'll turn this off for a minute, take you to see the quarry, and then we're going to wander back and have a very brief look at some of the areas around the house. So after a bit of an uphill walk, and you'll probably be able to hear that on me, we're at the final section. This is all an old disused quarry. There's a little bit of a water feature in the bottom of it. I'm assuming that's where the beck winds through, but it is absolutely lovely. I mean, it's quite a steep gradient here, but completely walkable. And whether that becomes somewhere that's considered for leisure or something like that, the fields at the top here, I believe, also come with it. So quite a significant plot, quite a significant backdrop. Yeah, right. I'm definitely out of puff. I'm going to get back towards the house and show you a bit more of that. Back to the rear of the property again. And now we've done a full tour. Just wanted to show you, there is quite a nice, relatively flat field, which has obviously those lovely Lake District views. Now this would be the most ideal position for a potential caravan site or something along those lines, because the views are spectacular. You're not within eye shot of anything town wise, but you're walking distance. And just over here, in the distance over here, you can see the sea. You know, I came last time and didn't even notice that. How beautiful. So that's pretty much a tour of everything. Now the house is in need of a full renovation program. I mean, really, when I look at things like the roof, that looks pretty straight. I haven't done a survey on the property, but it does look in pretty decent order. The outbuildings, you'd either use them or knock them down, depending on what your purposes were for the property. But I think the key clinching part for this is there's a huge house already with plenty of room to grow, and having 30 to 40 acres of land with spectacular views seems to be quite a nice additional bonus. So I'm just going to take you to show the last couple of little outbuildings, because there's a little bit more to see, believe it or not. And I'll and as I say, show you just a couple of rooms in the house. I mean, it needs renovation, so it will just be an indication of size, if anything. But to the side, there's quite a large slate roofed kind of double height barn, I think it would say. So there's something there that could be done. I mean, again, if you're looking at this from a leisure capacity, there's as many buildings as you could want to be able to potentially convert. And got little guard dogs here, which is very good. And then we come back to the front. Now for you, that's going to have felt like 10 minutes. For me, I can tell you it was half an hour. Let's have a little pop inside and I can show you what the house lays out like. So let's wander inside. So we've got this nice, looks like original stained glass, leading to a nice entrance hall. And we've got some fantastic cornicing in here. I mean, there's a lot of parts of this that definitely could be updated and renovated. I mean, all the cornicing, including the fireplace, are rather nice. Coming through into here, the most special part that needs saving is this absolutely beautiful staircase. I'll come to the kitchen in a minute because that's a lovely room. We've got a sitting room here, and out the front, it shows you where the parking and everything else is. Now, it is a renovation project. I don't think it's going to take a significant amount of money to make it how you would want to, but it will all depend on what your aspiration is. It's a significant sized house, so there's so much space that you have to take that into consideration when you're looking at your budget for this, but at least it's there. You don't have to build it. You just have to paint it, decorate it, and make things right. Nice big family, kitchen, eating. And the last thing I'm going to finish off with is this. The view out of the window of your own Lake District vista. If you are interested in this property, please do give us a call on 01900 822 00, and we'll be more than happy to be able to discuss it with you. Thank you.